We're back for some more BTS. I just checked out the Life Goes On music video. I wanted to get a little bit of a glimpse into the album and just sort of like get in the mood of the B album, which I'm in now. I'm in my feelings now. So here we are. I'm going to check out Suga's Behind Full Story, where Namjoon interviews him. I'm looking forward to it. And guys, if you want to watch my reaction to the Life Goes On music video, along with the uncut reaction and analysis of this particular Suga's Behind Full Story episode, you can do that. Just go to my Patreon link below. Other than that, I look forward to diving into this interview today.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
잘 지냈습니까?
안녕하십니까.
네, 이제 뭐 인터뷰예요.
네.
인터뷰고 이제 제가 형을 인터뷰하는 게 굉장히 오랜만이고 이제 나 약간 이런 공간에 대해서 되게 오랜만인데.
오케이, 알겠습니다.
자, 인터뷰 시작하겠습니다. 네. 자, 그러면 이제 형 같은 경우는 이제 이제 앨범 작업 들어가기 직전에 사실 어거스트 D2가 나왔죠.
And the thing I like about RM in any of these interviews or talk shows, whatever it is, I always feel like he shows up and he brings it. Like that's consistency right there. And you know I have mad love and respect for Namjoon, but that's just something that I've been noticing more and more and appreciating more and more about him is his consistency. And I feel like he's also really good at reading the energy and the mood of different people. I'm sensing right now Suga's not in an eye contact making mood, so maybe he feels just a little more distanced emotionally. I think RM's picking up on that, but we'll see how this plays out.
어려움은 없었다.
딱히 뭐 이 앨범을 위해서 만든 곡이라기보다는 그냥 만들어놨던 곡.
작업하시던 것 중에서 이제 가지고 오신 거잖아요.
그냥
네.
뭐 딱히 막
이번 앨범을 위해서 막 어떻게 해야겠다.
그런 건 없었고.
뭐 이런 건 이제 형은 이제 워낙 다작을 하는
그렇게
사람이기
했던
때문에
것들은 안 들어갔고.
막상 오히려 그냥
그렇게
약간 편하게 한 게
약간 좀 힘 줬던 것들은 안 들어갔고.
RM seems to be kind of in like a different mood here. You know, there's something going on with RM here. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but he doesn't seem to be as engaged and present as he normally is. I know in Korea, you know, eye contact isn't as encouraged. Maybe Namjoon's sensing or just like giving Suga his space. Maybe that's kind of his strategy. Like, I'm not going to look at Suga that too much because I know if I look at Suga too much, he might not be as open with me. You know, he might not feel as comfortable because he might sense that I want something from him.
편곡을 좀 다시 하긴 했는데 이번에.
이제 그 당시에 이제 딱 애들이 형이 이제 그 만든 그게 이제 겁나 좋다. 이제 이런 얘기를 많이 들어가지고 그냥 기대를 했던 그런 기억이 이제 납니다. 그래서 아까 지민이가 이제 사실 저는 이제 뭐 전문적인 이제 지식 같은.
It's interesting how RM said there.
이제 그 당시에 이제 딱 애들이 형이 이제 그 만든 그게 이제 겁나 좋다.
The other members told me that the song you made, Suga made, was really good. Like, that could be a good method of getting someone interested or involved in the conversation. But the funny thing is, with a guy like Yoongi, he's not necessarily the type of guy to take that kind of bait. It is what it is. I'm not saying he doesn't like compliments, but he's not the type of guy, it doesn't seem like, to get overly excited about that sort of thing, or at least show it.
제 믹스 과정이나 스타일에 대해서 이제 물어보더라고요.
믹스?
네, 근데 사실 전 잘 모르거든요.
너가 믹스 안 해?
그러니까 그냥 뭐
제임스 아저씨가 해주는데.
가믹스만 하지 뭐. 근데 형은 이제 어쨌든 믹스에 대해서 좀 아니까. 그래서 그 형의
So RM kind of playing himself down there. I don't know a lot about mixing. Yeah, I can admit that. See, RM has no problem stating what he can't do or what he's not good at. The result of that is it allows us to connect with Namjoon so much more because we see him being so good at so many things. He's the leader of the most popular group in the world. At times it seems like he's perfect, but he reminds us that he's not, right? He reminds us that he's human just like us. And I think that's something we can take away from a communication standpoint, just in terms of connecting with people. And by the way, I love these two. I think I might be drawn to them in different ways the most. And I probably aspire most to be like Yoongi in a way because I appreciate his authenticity so much.
형의 믹스할 때 스타일이나 그 과정 이런 거 있잖아요. 형은 어쨌든 그래도 관리 감독을 좀 하시니까 이제 그거 좀 궁금해요.
요즘 프리셋이 되게 잘 나와서
네. 프리셋으로 그냥 하시는 거예요?
프리셋으로 UAD
Suga's being humble. He's just like, yeah, the presets are great. I think what he's saying is, yeah, I don't really have to do much. It's already set up for me.
UAD 프리셋으로
Uh,
그게 되고
형이
뭐
추구하는 방향? 네, 믹스?
저는 이제
maybe he's sensing that like RM's trying to like butter him up a little, and he doesn't want that buttering up. Like I feel like Suga kind of repels from other people hyping him up. Like I don't know. Maybe he feels that there's some sort of lack of sincerity around that, and he doesn't need to be charmed. You know, some people like being charmed, and they're more receptive to being charmed. Me being one of them, Namjoon, I think, being one of them too. But Yoongi, I don't know. Unless it's sincere, right?
나는 딱히 과하게 안 거는 편이라 가지고
여러 가지를.
그룹을 묶어서 거는 거 딱 걸고 그리고 필요한 트랙들은 따로 빼가지고 이제 다 프리셋 잘 나와서
네. 저도 이제 질문 받았을 때 굉장히 당황을 했어요.
그러니까
네.
되게 열심히 해요. 튠바까지는 뭐 내가 할 필요가
그렇지.
없으니까.
So now he's giving himself a little bit of credit.
선에서 그냥 느낌 정도만 알 수 있게끔.
열심히 한다.
예.
가믹스 정도만.
요즘 또 되게 잘 나와 프리셋이.
And just a quick tip we can take away, because this is what we do. We talk about communication skills as well. At the end there, Namjoon said,
열심히 한다.
예.
가믹스 정도만.
so you just do your best and set the mood. So he's sort of summarizing what Suga's said, right? So that's actually a sign of good active listening. We ask someone a question or someone tells us something or explains a certain situation, tells us a story. If we can summarize that story in, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, one quick sentence, I think that's a good way to show the person that you're listening to them.
한다.
예.
가믹스 정도만.
요즘 또 되게 잘 나와 프리셋이 엄청.
그래요? 저도 한번 찾아보도록
건들 것도
하겠습니다.
없어.
오케이. 그리고 이제 뭐 사실 이 질문은
So Namjoon, I feel like, is looking for ways to hype up and encourage and make Suga feel good.
쓰게 되는 거죠.
그럼 형이 가장 중점적으로 생각하는 부분은 뭐예요? 그걸 이거만큼은 진짜 제일 중요하다. 저 같은 경우는 키워드, 저는 항상 키워드거든요. 뭐 잠시면 잠시 뭐 이런 거.
나는 그냥 일단은
You saw Namjoon say, you know, for me, it's focusing on a key word.
저 같은 경우는 키워드, 저는 항상 키워드거든요.
If you ask someone a question, and it might, maybe let's say it's a little bit more of a difficult or a complex question, and you're just trying to give someone a nudge to help them answer that question, I think what we can do is answer it ourselves.
저 같은 경우는 키워드, 저는 항상 키워드거든요.
Just in case Suga needed that extra nudge or step or clarity.
오케이, 그럼 형이 이제 중요하게 생각하는 부분이 뭐냐라고 하면 그러면 사실은 그냥 그때그때 느낌이라고 할 수 있겠네요. 네.
일단은 비트
확신 같은 거.
무조건 비트를
비트부터.
가 좋아야 되니까 그걸 먼저 만드는 편이다 보니
오케이. 그럼 형이 약간 확실을 만들어가는 스타일 이렇게 생각하시죠.
한 덩어리씩 이렇게 하니까
수중차 약간 건축하듯이 이렇게 가는
비트 만들고 그다음 멜로디 쓰고
쓰고 뭐 가사
작사하고.
있으면 있고.
And see how RM's kind of like helping him along? So while he's asking him questions, RM's kind of building on his sentences,
그럼 형이 약간 확실을 만들어가는 스타일 이렇게 생각하시죠.
한 덩어리씩
helping him down the path of answering this question.
이렇게 가는
비트 만들고 그다음 멜로디 쓰고
쓰고 뭐 가사
작사하고.
있으면 있고.
It's really smooth, actually.
이렇게. 오케이. 굉장히 좀 합리적으로 가는 것 같습니다.
순서가 딱 정해져 있어.
저는 전혀 그렇지 않고 여기 튀고 저기 튀고. 자,
Sometimes it does feel like it takes a little more to get stuff out of Suga. And I feel like if anyone can get things out of you, it would be Namjoon, maybe J-Hope as well. But in particular, Namjoon, like he can help you. He's really good at understanding other people's thought patterns. And as a result, he can kind of help you narrate and articulate your thoughts, which is what is happening here, it seems like.
이거 이렇게 가면 사람들이 이 허밍 나오면 음악 끌 것 같다고 너무 길어가지고
좀 길긴 했어요.
네.
네. 여러분들이 되게 가이드를 되게 듣고 싶어 하시잖아요. 저 가끔 이제 가이드 들으면 뭐 둘 중 하나더라고요. 좋아하시든지 아니면 흑역사 같든지 둘 중 하나인데.
나 가이드 좋았어.
근데 잠시 가이드는 사실 되게 좋아서 보면 키도 좀 낮고 그래서 한번 들려주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
Cool.
원래는 이 편곡이 아니에요.
원래는 좀 부드럽네요.
This is just another element that makes Suga so damn cool, isn't it? I've said this before, but he brings a realness to BTS, like that legitimate, I'm a producer, coolness to the group. There's just something so captivating about that.
이거였나? 아 이거다.
이거다.
이거 원래 키야 원래 키.
약간 힘 빠진 느낌이 나네. 아,
뭐 약간 이런 느낌.
You could tell, like, it's funny seeing the differences between them listening to the song. Like, RM's kind of just like getting into it and like feeling the beat, feeling the music. And I feel like Suga, it's like he doesn't show his enthusiasm unless he is actually enthused. And it takes him a little bit more to get enthused. But this is an interesting dynamic, the two of them. I feel like RM's just like really on to Yoongi. He's like really watching Yoongi. I don't know, maybe I'm off there, but it feels like he's still there intellectually. I just feel like emotionally there's something missing.
잠시만요. 뭐야?
하려고 했었는데 중간
잠시만요. 뭐야?
이렇게 정말 허밍 나오면서
Okay, now I saw some warmth from RM.
막 했었었는데 거기 랩이 들어가더라고.
원래 뭐든지 이제 계략대로 되지 않는 그런.
하려 그랬는데 못했어 그래.
아무튼 원래는 좀 굉장히 좀 편하고 좀 이렇게 좀 펑키하네요.
그렇죠. 원래
네.
좀 펑키.
네.
아니, 완전 레트로 느낌은 아니었는데
뚱뚱뚱.
레트로처럼 이제 편곡이 돼가지고.
사실 작업할 때 좀 이거 괜찮을까? 약간 이런 거 있잖아요. 왜냐면 이제 멤버들 들어와야 되고.
Something's changed. I feel like something's changed here because right now I'm starting to see Namjoon smile a little more interacting with Yoongi in this particular segment. Maybe it was just listening to that music that brought out a certain warmth in RM. But who knows? Like I said before, there could be a million things going on in RM's head, right? He's doing an excellent job though, regardless.
다른 대외적으로 사람들이 바라봤을 때 모두가 다들 좀 힘들고 이게 아픈 시기인데 그냥 단면적으로 봤을 때는 다들 행복해 보인다는 거예요.
무슨 일이 일어날지 모르니까.
사람들은 다 행복한가봐라는 말이 되게
왜 기억에 남는 가사야?
그리고 다들 행복하지 않은 거 아는데 그냥 그런 식으로 물어보는
그렇게 생각하죠. 인간은 사실.
그래서 이제
Like Yoongi's a real dude. When Yoongi's like in serious mode and like getting sincere and getting deep and talking about like real emotions, you know, if it's something true to him, if it's not, you know, surface level stuff, he has no problem speaking and getting into a monologue and really like getting real with us, the audience, with Namjoon, whoever he's speaking to. But RM's still very actively involved in the conversation. You can see him still like actively listening and he's still helping Yoongi finish his sentences, but I think that's just his way of acknowledging that he understands Yoongi, right? And that's something that we get from RM a lot. He's able to put himself in other people's shoes and he vocalizes that often and he's doing it here.
그리고 다들 행복하지 않은 거 아는데 그냥 그런 식으로 물어보는
그렇게 생각하죠. 인간은 사실.
Right? There, but we still tend to have that thought. Suga's talking about part one of the message.
다들 행복하지 않은 거 아는데 그냥 그런 식으로
And then RM's closing part two of the message out.
그런 식으로 물어보는
그렇게 생각하죠. 인간은 사실.
So RM's able to get on Yoongi's level here.
나 그거 한 3곡 써갔어. 3곡.
진짜 레전드다. 나 그때 뭐 했냐?
아니 뭐 다 그림 그리고 다
쌀데기 없이 그 탁구 나오고 자,
뭐 하려고 한 게 아니야. 그 진짜 할 게 없으니까 하는
아니
거지.
나는 하려고 해도 안 되는데 아무튼 참 특이해요. 형은 참 특이한 사람인 것 같아요.
할 게 없어 그죠.
오케이 좋습니다. 그럼 뭐 이제 그리고 뭐 이 질문도 사실은 뭐 받았을
Okay, interesting. I feel like RM, like he's like hard on himself when he's not productive. What did I do? I was playing ping pong. And then you saw at the end there, RM say to Suga, he said, you're such a unique person. Like really gave him a compliment. You're such a unique person. But it didn't look like Yoongi responded to him, right? He didn't really acknowledge that comment. So RM recognized that and moved on.
이번 앨범 작업도 그렇고 앞으로 어떤 식으로 그러니까 형이 이제 그 음악에 대해서 어떻게 풀어갔으면 좋겠는지
제가 이제 그
어떻게 하고 싶다.
이 작업이라는 걸 이제 한 지가 16년, 15년이 됐잖아요. 이제
그 정도 됐죠.
초등학교 강의 때부터 했으니까 10살 때부터.
I feel like in a way, Suga commands the most respect in the group. And although there's a lot of love and respect amongst all 7 of them, there seems to be sort of a different type of respect for Suga, and it might be from the sort of like technical side of the music, but I have commented before that he really does kind of play like this father-like role where there are just times where you're kind of wanting Suga's validation and love because he doesn't show it unless he's sincere and honest about it. And when you get it from him, it means a lot. But on top of that, he's kind of like a proud father, like just the way he kind of looks at the guys and gives them a hard time like a father.
좀 잔잔한 음악도 많이 듣고 그냥.
근데 사실 BTS 음악이 사실 여러 가지 장르가 있잖아요. 그러니까 다른 장르라 함은 이제 구체적으로 어떤 걸 얘기를 하는 건지.
포크 음악 하고 싶어.
Their eye contact actually has changed throughout the interview. There's a lot more eye contact both ways in the second half of this interview as opposed to the first half, but I do sense that RM doesn't want to be too intense with Suga, wants to give him his space, is sort of letting Suga dictate the emotional pace of this interview to say, hey, I'm going to look at you, but when you speak, I'm going to kind of look away because I want to give you your space. I want to give you your room. I don't want you to feel like cringed out in any way. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to charm you in any way.
그런 작업이나 음악을 들어주시고 뭔가 형이 이제 그런 거에 대해서
This is cool.
어쨌든 마지막으로 할 말이 있으면 해주시고 끝내면 마무리하면 좋을 것 같아요. 뭐 그동안 못했던 말이라든지 사실 이렇게 각 잡고 할 수 있는 경우가 거의 없잖아요.
이번 B 앨범이 진짜 좀 많은 사랑을 받아가지고 그렇잖아요 이번에.
그럼요.
놈이
Yoongi's like the last guy you could actually be quote unquote smooth or cool with because he, like I said before, brings out a realness in people. Because he's so real, it's like you're around him, it almost inspires you to be real and drop any sort of like persona that you might have. And maybe that's a little bit in a way of what I'm sensing here, although I'm sure Namjoon and Yoongi are completely themselves around each other. You know, you're not seeing cool guy RM here.
이렇게 부담 없이 만드니까 되게 재밌었고 또 성적에 대해서 딱히 그런 부담 없이 하니까 또 성적도 잘 나와버렸고 앞으로 그냥 이렇게 계속해서 우리가 이렇게 좀 즐겁게 음악을 했으면 좋겠어요.
It's so honest and sincere, and it's so nice to listen to when Suga does get nostalgic because he's like an engine, he's like an older engine that sometimes takes a little bit of time to get going. But once he gets going, it's such a pleasure to listen to.
또 B 앨범 많이 사랑해 주셔서 감사하고 잠시 많이 들으세요. 잠시 많이 들으세요.
오케이, 알겠습니다. 수고하셨습니다.
Well, that was cool. Guys, if you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis along with my reaction to the music video Life Goes On, all you need to do is click on my Patreon link below. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. My name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.